Hello there. Manufacturers are persistently told about the need to adopt digital manufacturing technologies. On top of that, they're now being told they must start their net zero journey. All of this at a time when energy prices are going through the roof. It all adds up to pressure. And there is one inescapable fact which underpins it all, which is that navigating any of these challenges will not be possible if teams are not brought on board, a process that's significantly more difficult and complex than it sounds. I'm joined by David Savage of Manufacturing with Purpose, who helps manufacturing teams get through the process of change. David, manufacturers have a bit of a reputation for being no nonsense, perhaps a bit traditionalist. I wonder how many you think understand the people imperative behind all of this.
Great question, Nick. I mean, Henry Ford, he was famous for saying the two most important things in a business aren't written on the balance sheet, which is its reputation and its people. So he got that the people was really important. I think people say that, people are our greatest asset, but having a theoretical understanding and truly appreciating what your people are doing and those invisible, that thing which holds the whole thing together, and particularly now when there's a lot of change, it's that kind of cohesion of the workforce which is going to be the thing which gets you through those shifts in gear and those redirections, much more than the clarity of your message. It will be the bonds between the employee and how they relate to the organization itself.
You've just mentioned, that old phrase, people are our greatest asset. But what's a common obstacle to actually recognizing the need for perhaps a cultural change in a business?
Culture change is not easy and it's not quick. And I think one of the barriers is the fact that it starts with me, the head of the organization. It's, Michael Gerber, the author of the E-Myth, he said your business is an exact reflection of yourself, and that is a bit of mirror looking in, that you are creating the culture around you, and we all do that, whether it's a micro business or a big business. It's the those interactions between your reports which are creating a culture. So it's not what you say, it's not the message on the wall, it is those interactions. When you react, for example, to bad news and you blow your top or you come down negatively on it, that does lie in the culture of the business, that if we speak up, we could get shot down. And conversely, if you can celebrate failure, if you can see it as an opportunity to learn and to grow, and that's the language, so that will become part of the culture, and people will be happy about speaking up and sharing where they've got it wrong and how they can improve.
Isn't there a third way, though, which may be that a company feels perfectly happy about the way things are going, but actually deep down there is a resistance to change? In other words, things are going great. Why do we need to change? When, of course, some of these gear changes you've talked about, we've been talking about net zero, digital technologies, they require gear change.
Yeah, no, really, really good question. And the expression "the good is the enemy of the great" is really true. When you think everything's going well, and you begin to become complacent and look back on your past stories, so you can lose that real hunger and tenacity to go for the best. And again, that is down to the individual. Are you playing fully out for your personal goals? And I think, like manufacturing TV, you had this audacious goal. It's when you kind of dare to have those audacious goals that is also critical to keeping the whole focus on what's ahead and keeping your edge and challenging yourself. And we are all different, so you can't inherit the vision of your fathers. Is not your vision, and that's part of the responsibility for the seniors in a business, to really empower and to believe in the up and coming generation, that they will take the business in a new direction. And that's something I want to champion with my work in manufacturing.
Well, you have worked with a great many manufacturers, and you've undergone this process. What does it look like? How do you begin to change the way a team looks at their work, thinks about it?
Yeah, the you can say the ground for growing something new needs to be right before you start sowing the seeds, but it also needs to happen to an extent together. And I would say it's important that you are clear on what you want to achieve. People want to have a clear goal, but you have to also bring people along on the journey, and that comes from them even shaping the way that program's going to happen, shaping the what is truly they want from, you talked about a solution there, what do the people want from this solution, and listening to them and helping them to articulate what is the real need here, because the more you listen, the more the adoption will succeed.
But there's also a fear. There must be some fear on the shop floor. Digital means somebody's going to lose their job because you're going to replace me with a cobot, with automation or whatever.
Yes, yeah, and it's important to let that be aired. It's important that that's a safe place for people to speak up, and without trying to silence that voice, let it come out. And part of that is allowing people to process change. And I think engineers, by tendency, we are problem solvers and logical thinkers. So when someone comes out with a counter argument, we can very much see that as being a threat. But that person may be just processing through that. I can see fear has become the dominant emotion here. They're afraid of losing their livelihood. That's a really basic human instinct, and allowing them to process that through, talking them through it, not with logic but also with empathy. Really understand that you want to look after your family here. We completely get that, and we absolutely want to do the same for you. And then then people are ready to receive your solution. But when you sort of go in there with with all the facts and figures and so on, and show how it's the best thing since sliced bread, you're leaving them behind, and they will throw up like awkward problems. They will resist trying things out. And what you really need, and absolutely agree, we need to embrace digital, but we need a workforce who is going to embrace that journey as well, and see it as being a better destination than where they are currently.
Well, David, thank you very much indeed for that. Some very useful, indeed vital lessons for anybody involved in manufacturing. This has been a special report from Manufacturing TV. I'm Nick Peters.